What's up, everybody? This is Tree again from Rock on the Range 2013 for Loudwire, and very excited that I'm ending the weekend with the one, the only, Sean Kinney from Alice in Chains. How you doing, man?
I'm apparently one and the only, so I'm doing good. For me, being the only one of me, I'm doing pretty good. You don't have to like it. Nobody's asking you. We've never asked anybody to, begged anybody to follow this or to dig it. We do it because we like it. I get the, that's their opinion. I get the passion that they have about our friends that are no longer here, and that they've made a connection to music to that, and I respect that. I think it's great, and that they care so much. But it's a little, it can be off-putting. We don't really look at that stuff. There's always this noise about things, but for the most part, it seems to be more of a minority mindset, and the fact is they're going to, like everybody here, you and everybody, you're going to run up to the fact that people you love and care about and yourself won't be here, and what do you do then? And this was never a solo project. This is always a band, and this is real to us. Those are really our friends. Those are my best friends, and nobody knows better of what to do and how to handle this than us, and we're not doing it for the money, the music industry, you're in it, it's dead. There's not a lot of money, and especially in rock and roll. So we don't need the money. So why we do this for the same reason we always did, and more than half the reason I even thought about doing this at all is because bringing that we did together, that was so important to us, and that had a life of its own, to be able to bring them with us and the music, and that's important, so if people want to close their minds to those things, these things will happen to them, and it's just not on a public forum where people have to have to deal with it. When your mom dies, not everybody starts telling you got to change your name, and how dare you go on living, and you can't be you and do things, you need to change your job and everything that you've spent your life doing and your career. And so it's just not well thought out, but it's based behind passion and caring, and I have those same hopes too. Trust me, none of us nobody wanted to be like this, and it truly only affects every single day our friends, families, and us, in a real way. So we live with that and try to move on. And how do we honor our past and honor who we are now, and it's our past, and do that as men, and that's what we do. It's I'm talking more than I normally have about this, I guess, but when those guys are alive, right? Mike's on a TV show and everybody's talking shit about him for the most part, right? And when Lane was alive and we were doing this, we're very open about the lifestyles we led and everything, and those lifestyles will end your life, and they have, and Jerry and I are just fortunate that it didn't end ours either. It's not like it was a one guy doing things. We all lived a pretty toxic life, and that's not rare to music or anything. We're not like an exception to the rule, but the horrible facts are, these are the outcomes of those things. And while we were going through that then, these same people some of these people back then spent all their time chastising these people and trying to vilify us for what we were doing then. And then when they're no longer here, which I find is really nice, they've come to accept that and hold it in a different regard. So I think that's great, but it is a little misguided sometimes, It's like, maybe in my fantasy world, it's like, maybe if those guys would have known that people cared like they apparently do now while they're alive, would they have heard that? Would they have known? But this is a fact. This is reality. This is a reality we live with. It's real to me. Every day, there's not a day we don't think about that stuff, and it'll go on for the rest of our lives. So, this is why I do it. I'm not out of here to play rock star, and everything. We do this because we're great friends, and we spent our life doing this, and we still enjoy the music, and we have a pretty interesting past. We never took the easy road. We have a multiracial band, we've had a female manager in the 80s when it was ran by a bunch of old guys with cigars that ran these things that tried to treat her like a coffee lady. Give me a coffee, bands, so we've just seemed to always go our own way of dealing with things, seem to not really you seem to take kind of a harder, a less easy path, you know. But it's the path we choose, and we do what feels right. We're not begging anybody to pay attention. We never were. You know, if that's how you want to live your life and close the door on something, that door never closes for us. We live with it every day. You know, but I do appreciate that they're passionate about it. That's cool that something resonated with them, and the work and the things that we did and with our friends meant that much to them. That's great, man. And if it ends for them there, it's good. It's our name. You know, we keep all our business very private, but you know, we don't correct the mistakes on Wikipedia. Like, you know, we don't spend our time looking at any of these things and correcting while people try to write your history for you. You know, we don't have any interest in that. But the truth is, it wasn't owned by one. You know, we all four of us own the band name. Yeah. And when Mike left, he gave up his rights, and the three, Lane and Jerry and I, it's our name, it's our business, it's our career, it's our music, it's our thing we created. And you know, there was the thought, I made a comment long ago when I didn't even think we'd ever play anything, like, I didn't see that we would be doing this now, but I mean, I don't know what we're going to be doing tomorrow. You know, I didn't know we were going to make this record or the last record, and so we operate on what feels right and what our truths are, and you know, that's all we can do. But it went. What would the difference be? We'd sound like us and play our songs. Yeah. I mean, what would
there wouldn't be any.
No, you can't go either way you go. There's going to be people that have a problem with what you're doing. You know, I mean, I don't have a problem with what other people do. You know, if it doesn't interest me, I just don't pay attention to it. You know, I mean, I don't spend time. I don't spend an hour or so online. You know, being mad at you know, the Black Eyed Peas. You know, it's like I don't listen to that. I don't think it's bad. There's a huge audience for it, but it's not my flavor of music. So I don't. I try to spend my time with energy on more positive things and things I can actually do instead of online being mad at what other people do.